Hello, everyone. The people can see us. I was gonna be like, and now I use my inhaler. And
I mean, to throw off your intro, I play Hades on the controller.
on PC, cool,
Yeah.
nice. I played on Switch, so it's mandatory controllers. It's actually it runs very well on Switch. I'm very surprised, honestly. We're about to get started, everybody. Everybody, hang out, chill. Let me actually write down the games I played because I'll forget. Yes. God, I forgot all of them already. Just like immediately it was gone. It's dusted out my ear. All right, well, you boys ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. It is Sunday, October 25th, 2020, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I am Alex O'Neill, your podcast chief for this podcast experience. And my podcast chieftains joining me today are, as always, Mr. Scott Guthier.
Hello.
And Mr. Brian Nobshin Jackson.
Yes, sir.
No Tony Horvath this week. He might appear. You can never pin down Tony Horvath. He's like an unpredictable creature. That's what makes him beautiful. That's why we gotta cherish and protect them. So he could appear, but more likely he's been working and he's probably pretty tuckered out. So he probably won't be on this week. And obviously you're gonna have to dip out a little bit early, correct?
Yeah.
So
got too much house stuff that I got to take care of, and my parents also need help as well. So
the pleasures and joys of
now.
moving, it's all right. Happy to get you for what time we can. So then it'll just be the Alex and Scott Chillcast, which it's been a while since there's been one. It's been like a couple months. We had another one this year, so it'll be very chill by the end of this podcast. Mm-hmm. Can guarantee it. But let's get right into it because we don't have a lot of time. Just a little bit of housekeeping. I want to start with tonight. Hey, Irrational Passions podcast. It's a video games podcast. We talk about the games that we play every week. Just four folks just hanging out, doing their thing, talk about video games. Lives typically Saturdays. It hasn't been because I've got just the worst life stuff going on right now. But don't worry, y'all. We'll get there. But right now, over the weekends, live, usually the early evenings, on youtube.com/irrationalpassions. Check it out. Anyway, some housekeeping, other stuff that happens in the Irrational Passions world on irrationalpassions.com. So a lot of cool stuff went up that I want to highlight. Scott White wrote his most anticipated game of 2020, Legends of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 4. He's been playing through the entire franchise, waiting for this game, played through I don't even know all the two other sub-franchises that he played. But it's finally out. His review is up. The game comes out on Tuesday, but his review is up on the site, so you can read it. Yeah, he liked it a lot. So there's some stuff in there that he very justifiably called out, and I'm very proud of him for that review. It's very phenomenal, I think, honestly. And he also wrote it from the perspective of someone who's played all those games. So if you want that perspective, it's a lot, but I think it's very informative. It tells you how deep that well goes. Also went up, Nobshin, you and I talked about Next Gen. Another little check-in, a little bit, hey, it's been 3 months. What's going on? The world is completely different again. We talked a lot about Bethesda. We talked about the games, the launch lineup, how we're feeling. That was a great show, dude. I don't know how you felt afterwards, but I felt very good.
I just enjoy talking to you.
That's like always. It's it's like after the podcast with you guys. It's just I feel all warm and fuzzy. Also,
and like you know me, like there's always just an issue of like, with our podcast in general. It's like it's just getting to do it, because when I'm here, like I love everything about it. Like there's nothing I have no complaints whatsoever. It's just like getting the mustard app actually doing it for some reason. It's just like it fucks with me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm intimidating. It's fine. I understand. So is Scott Guthier. That's what I say all the time. No, I do get it. It's also 2020, so like I'm not fucking pointing fingers at anybody. Also up on RussianPatch.com, one last thing. Mike Burgess did a wonderful review for Crash 4, It's About Time. And I believe it is a video review. I think that one's he did. No, that was No Straight Roads. Crash 4 is just a written review. But he also sat down with Andrew from Uppercut, and they did a viewpoints on it, and that is also on the website. So just go check that out. That's it. Let's talk about video games. Nabishin. It's been too long, my friends. I know you haven't played a ton in the 5 weeks that you've been missing here, but I want the highlights. What you been playing? What you got?
I mean, like, there's not much to talk about because, like,
it doesn't have to be a lot, man. I have a good time.
I'm giving you something. Just let me talk.
Okay. I'm here for the ride.
I know you want something. I'm not trying to diss you.
Okay, all right. Gotta keep you on the hook, you know.
I was trying to say, like, it hasn't been much of anything because of obviously setting up and stuff like that. But it's like, it's just mostly just like the comfort food stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mass Effect, just doing that just because I just like doing it. I just beat 2 today, so I'll go into 3 eventually. Like, since I moved, I haven't even touched Sonic, so like that's like something I still gotta go back to. Just finish up Sonic Colors. Like you know, like oh god, like what else have I been playing? Like Ghosts, I beat that.
Yeah, I saw you got the platinum in Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah,
which is cool.
Yeah, because like, and when I talk about that game, it's like it's the same story I've always been saying. It's just like, oh yeah, like it's a really very fun video game as a video game, but like everything else about it is just like subpar to just okay for me. Just like just generally, just like the tone is like pretty much the same all around, and like, you know, near the end you'll get moments where like you'll see Jin smile every once in a while. It's like, oh, okay, so he has more emotion. He's more of a character. And obviously the ending was like, it was pretty decent, I would say.
Okay.
But like, because I don't want to sell it short, but like I also want to put like where my perspective is with it, where it's like I don't think it's like the best thing ever, but like I think it's a very good game. It's a good game for what it is, and like it does what it does successfully. Like certain characters I feel like are really good. Like I think like Lady Mazuko, for instance, in that game is like a very good tragic character, who a person who literally lost everything in her life, and like and she's just this one note the entire game. But I think that works for her more than the Jin, because like you see her pain and rage and like the devastation that she always has to get through that entire game, and like I think that really works for her. Jin, maybe because of the way he was acted, not to say he acted badly, because he was a phenomenal actor, and like everything in that game looks great, but like Jin, it really seemed one note to a point where it's like you should emote a little bit more. You should, like, you know, not necessarily smile, but like is like a little bit too serious from your end, which is like, and you know, the argument would be like, oh, he lost a lot too, and I was like, yeah, I agree, but like he's also gaining a lot as well. So like there's like a little dichotomy with it, where it's like when you think about Geralt of Rivia, like not necessarily a tragic character, but like something that's super important that he's trying to do the entire game, and like not necessarily that he's a joke cracker, he's not cracking wise to everybody, but like he has a little wit to him, type of thing. And like Jin is very like straight laced and very serious and very like the same character through the entire game until like literally near the end.
I honestly like what you said about Geralt in simple terms is like the best way to describe him. He's not a tragic character. I think he's like, he has the backstory and the kind of setup of one, you know, like a kid that was kind of kidnapped and forced into this situation, and then has lost all emotions and is kind of like a pariah to the rest of the world. But in spite of that, he's just kind of whatever, and that's kind of that's the whole thing. That's the shtick, and it totally works for that character. Mm-hmm. Like he's genuinely apathetic to kind of what people want, and he has to kind of go with whatever he thinks is right, and deciding and dictating that is the magic of that. I think like there's an authenticity to that, right? Like maybe that's just what it is with Jin. It just like if you're so dour all the time, it just doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear he gets to a smile at some point.
Yeah, like I said, near the end, I think near the end is where his character like really shines and really shows how good he could have been like for the other like 30 something hours I put into that game. It's like I said, that game is so much fun just to play. But like like Jin seemed more like an avatar all at first, and then like maybe like in the last fourth of that game, it's like, oh, like he's really becoming a character of his own. But like when you lose certain characters with him, like you see the emotions on his face, and it's like, okay, I really feel that now. When he has to do the decision that he has to do at the end, like you really feel that as well. And like he becomes a better character than what he was than he is at the end, or at the beginning, I should say. But like yes, Ghost of Tsushima, I would recommend it. Because I've been talking about this game for months now, and like I finally got through it. And like I said, I think it's a fun game to go through. But like it's a fun game where if you don't put too much thought into it, I think it's just like fine. Not that it has much to say, but like just a general type of thing. Just like if you just play just to play as a video game, I think it's very good, just like that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But other than that, though, I'm trying to think of other things I've gotten around to, like, because like if video games were like around me, it's mostly because like I'm living with my god niece now, so like it's just like getting her to play games, or she just wants to play games. So like I had Little Big Planet 3 forever on my system, literally never started up. I had it for like since like 2015 or 16 when it was like $5 or something like that. It was like super cheap. I can't remember how cheap it was, so I bought it, but I never really played the game like that. And then like she wanted to play it, and like she was like playing with the costumes that I have from like all my old DLCs from Little Big Planet 1 and 2. Yeah, like I just watched her play that. That was cool. Like pretty cool.
It's good vibes.
Yeah, like Little Big Planet hasn't aged all that much or all that well, I feel.
Visually,
not visually, more of like
I'm sure mechanically it hasn't.
Yeah, like like we're that's always been the complaint since the beginning, but like now it really hasn't aged that well, and like we haven't even touched like the creator stuff, honestly. So like
makes me wonder, like Sackboy's Big Adventure, like what kind of level of commitment are they gonna have to that original feel, or are they just gonna like totally rewrite it and make it feel good?
I think it's just gonna be the same.
That's why I think so too. But I don't know. Watching gameplay, it looks like it's kind of a different level of fluidity.
I think it would be very much worth for them to switch it up and make it a reimagined version.
Yeah, especially for the 3D platformer version of your video game. Like, please give me good jumping for that.
Like, will they have a triple jump? That's a bet.
It will. Yeah, will there be an item power up that gives you a triple jump?
I don't know.
Probably not. It's too fun.
But yeah, it's been that. It's been Fall Guys Season 2. That's the first time I've seen it was today, because I haven't touched that game since it came out really. So I played like the new stuff. Yeah, that game still seems like a good time for her, but like, yeah, I'm completely done with it, kind of thing.
Yeah, I got it. Even like, Season 2 is not.
Yeah, but. Yeah, but like, yeah, and, her eyes lit up though when she saw it. So like, she's been enjoying it, and like, I've been helping her obviously. So like, we'll get a W, and once we get that W, I'll throw the game out after that or something like that. I'll be done. God, what else have we played? Oh, Undertale. Undertale's been the big thing. That's the big thing that we've been playing. I had it for the Switch for like a year, just haven't started it up because I already had the game, already played the game, so like I just wanted to buy it on there, and I did. And now she's playing that version, and like she's been hella enjoying it. Like I had to narrate it for her, I had to do the voices and stuff like that. Papyrus and Sans is her favorite. And like she already kind of knows the game, like when she wanted to play it, or when I brought it up to her that she wanted to play, like, oh yeah, I kind of know this game, but she only knew about like the not the pacifist, the other one. What's the word?
Genocide Run.
There you go.
What a wonderful message for this child.
I know, right? So she has no clue about the pacifist stuff, because she knew like, oh yes, you kill Sans, and like he's really hard, right? And it's like like yeah, but like you're not.
Yeah, but you gotta
do.
You gotta do a bunch of stuff beforehand. You shouldn't know any of this shit.
So like she's been enjoying like not learning how not to kill, and like how do you figure like do I hug him or do I tell him a funny joke, or like
That's
what's
cool.
like you go through the acts of that. So like that's been fun. The playing aspect of that is like kind of hard for her, but like I usually do that part for her, that I give her a controller that she just goes where she wants and talks to people if she wants, and I do the voices type of thing. So like we've been enjoying doing that. But that's majority of everything I've been playing. Next gen's around the corner, so like it's just like
we're waiting. Like I told you that.
Yeah, like now is a good time to take a break.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not, but it's a good time.
Yeah, I mean
it's like for me, it's like I'm starting to get in the groove again, like of me enjoying video games again. Because like the summer's been kind of hard with all the work I've been doing, and like it's not like video games was the last thing I wanted to do, but it's just like I just didn't have the energy to actually put a real commitment into it. That's why stuff like Spelunky 2 for the moment that I played that was like good for me. Just not really thinking about anything and just trying to do something in it, and like I enjoyed it for that time I had for it. But like will I go back to it? Probably not. But like I've been enjoying like seeing your ending out, because it's like the first time I've actually like seen how that game ends. Like I haven't like seen anyone.
It gets
really like
it gets wild. I can send you. Did you see the 8-minute video I posted on YouTube?
I saw the just like literally the last part of it.
Yeah, I posted a longer one the day before that shows like how you get up there and everything. That might be just worth watching just so you can see it.
Yeah, because I still don't know like the route, I guess you would say, like because I've seen how far.
Yeah, I was going to talk about this episode, so you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I'll listen to that. But God, like obviously I've done the lava route obviously every time I played, and then the world after that is just probably as far as I've gone. Oh, after
do you do the tide pools, the water level, or do you do the temple? Or are you just saying Olmec himself? That's as far as
I think Olmec. I think whatever's after Olmec is the last thing I've done.
Cool. There's two exits.
Either that or at Olmec. You know what? I think I was at the Ice Temple.
The ice. So there's a whole world you gotta get through to get to the ice cave. So.
So maybe I didn't get that far. Maybe that was Patrick. I don't know. But like that's as far as I've seen as far as thinking.
I feel like maybe you sent me a video of the ice caves or something once, but or I sent you one. But yeah, it's wild.
You sent me one. That's probably what it was.
Scott, since you're not on Twitter, you don't know. I beat Spelunky last night or 2 nights ago.
Nice. First time?
The hard ending first time, like the doing all the secrets and getting to the true final boss. Did it? Oh, it felt so good. I can't even describe. It was truly like a wonderful experience. And when I got to the last world, to World 7, I was like, I'm not gonna record this one because I'm just gonna fucking fuck it up at the end. And then I beat it, and I was like, shit, all right, I gotta capture the last 2 minutes or whatever and put this on Twitter. But yeah, I can talk about that if you want, Nabishin. The route.
Yeah, I'm here.
So I'm going to talk a little bit Spelunky spoilers. I don't know if you're going to mind, Scott, but it's all very complicated. You might just forget it anyway. So.
No, I'm the type of person that says, all right, I've had 5 minutes with this game. It's a roguelike.
Wow, me.
I'm opening up the wiki.
Yeah, that's really fair. Wow, me. You better fucking impress me. So Spelunky 2, I haven't got to talk to you about it at all, Nabishin, but I love it. It's great. It's funny, like I think there's a part of me that is disappointed by it, but like I'm not really sure why. I think I'm disappointed that because I'm not disappointed in the game. I really do love it. I think it's a phenomenal sequel. I think it's more than what I asked for, honestly. I think I'm disappointed that nobody cares still. But that's like Spelunky is just like everyone loves Hades and everything, and Spelunky gets absolutely none of that. And it's a bummer. But I get it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I get it. Like Spelunky is a way like sharper game. It's got way more sharp edges.
Spelunky's not quite out on PC, all right?
It's out on PC. The multiplayer has not launched on PC.
Oh, okay.
But when it does,
do you think it levels down to it being a platformer?
I think it levels down to Spelunky's really fucking hard. I really don't think it.
Yeah. Spelunky's like way harder than Hades.
Yeah, it's like, and I love it for that. It's weird. Like, I don't like a lot of hard games, right? There are a few that I really do like, and Spelunky is one of them. But I definitely know, like, it is an intimidating game. Like, even like thinking about, I had 1,500 plays in that game when I beat it, right? Which is insane, and like it's probably over 300 hours in that game before finishing it, which is like a huge commitment. And I'm like not that good at that game, so like that's ironing out and just taking my time to get better and better and better and better until I was good enough to finish it, right? Like, and that's all it is, right? It is, for me, just playing that game is it is the most satisfying video game experience, in my opinion. For me, like, if I'm going to play a platformer, number one at the top of the list will always be Spelunky. Probably Spelunky 2 at this point, just because I think it feels the best of any of them. And it's one that, like, when I went and played with Scott White, there's actually an online thing that you can set the delay for control input, but the less delay you set, the other player might start. You might see their hitches for like the lag adjustment. So I was like, okay, I'll keep it the default, and I immediately could count the number of frame difference going from playing about 100 or so hours of Spelunky 2 not online to taking it online with that slight delay. I could feel each individual frame. That's how specifically I knew. And I was like, this is gross. I've never known a game like this, but this is gross. I imagine it's like how some people feel in fighting games, but it's a big commitment.
It's literally how people feel.
Yeah. And it's cool. Honestly, it's cool to have a game that I feel like that intimately understanding with, right? Like, I understand exactly the motion I need to do the one brick up jump and all that. Like, it's gross and it haunts me sometimes. And when I close my eyes, I see myself running old Spelunky levels. It is happening. Kind of like when I was playing Tetris a lot, I would close my eyes and I would start doing Tetris with my eyes closed. It's kind of like that, but it's also, I love it. It's just such a fascinatingly satisfying game for me to play.
So question, like, when we did it on Parsec, like, did you not feel the same way?
It was not an enjoyable experience for me. I was being very quiet about it, but I was because I didn't want to be like, the lag, fuck this.
Sure.
But I definitely died a lot, and there were moments where, and if you, I don't know if it's archived or not, but if you go back and listen, you can definitely hear me say a couple times like, oh shit, like got me that time, and where I like fell on spikes and stuff. So yeah, that was way more severe, and I think that was my first feeling with it. And it was like a way bigger gap, so it was way harder for me to tell exactly what I had to do.
Sure.
But when it was a tight enough gap that I could tell kind of exactly the millisecond delay, it was cool. It was cool to be able to tell. But yeah, so Spelunky's an intimidating game. It's a mountain, and it will fucking kill you to climb it. But it is super satisfying to do so. And there's still like the best thing is like the kind of craziest runs are more integrated into the full path of Spelunky 2 versus the first one, right? So like the last shit I have to do is like some of the fucking wildest shit in the game, and it's exciting but also terrifying. So the route, spoiler warning, the route for Spelunky 2, this is what I had to do to beat it. In the first level you get the gold key, you get the Ujidai. That's very standard. You get to choose. So either way you go, you can get to the secret ending. So like what I like, two completely different paths. So you can either go to the jungle and use the Ujidai to find the black market and buy the special item there, or you could go to the lava caves and use it to activate the big drill and go to Vlad's castle.
It's finding the market just with the Ujidai again. This the same thing, or is it like
the black market?
You hit the eye because it seems harder to find. Honestly,
it's definitely harder to find. You definitely before you could kind of maybe BS it in Spelunky 1, and that was definitely like a speedrunning tactic. This time it's way harder to tell. But like, I feel like any speedrunner is gonna go lava caves, no matter what, because it's always faster. But I like the jungle a lot, and I was doing jungle runs for the most part. I ended up my final runs were with Vlad's Cape, so I was doing the lava caves just because it's a little bit safer. But I like both. I like both a lot, and I like the Duat a lot. It's just way fucking harder. It's so fucking difficult. So the lava caves are out. You use the Ujjayi, you go down below a level, and there's a secret level behind. It's Vlad's Castle. Vlad's Castle. So a lot of things I learned this run, or like in these final runs, is like there is a little bit of item synergy in Spelunky. I'm gonna talk a little bit about synergy with Hades, but. Spelunky's definitely way less of that kind of roguelike. There's some, but the cool thing is if you have Vlad's Cape, when you hit enemies, they actually spray out more blood. And there's an item called the Kapala Cup that collects blood. And so if you were getting more of it, you were essentially gaining more health. So that was a thing that I didn't really know until pretty late game. And that was a big game changer for how I was trying in my last runs. So getting Vlad's Cape was really important. Going that lava cave route, it's a little tough, but there's a lot of risk with lava. It kills you instantly. So then you can either go after you have to beat Olmec, which is a whole thing, but you beat Olmec and you get the Ankh, which
after we have to beat them.
Yes, there's a lot of different ways at this point. So what I do is you get Olmec to go down to the second level, which is very easy, and then he puts up these propulsion beams, and then he starts shooting bombs out his left and right side. There's actually some other stuff if you're going for the secret run, the Cosmic Ocean run. You have to do some other stuff in the room in Olmec's room. There's like a secret shopkeeper there that will hold onto your items and take them to the final world for you, so that way you don't have to carry them through levels, because you have to die in some of these upcoming levels. So I usually do that, and then once Olmec's destroyed most of the bottom half, I usually give him about 2 minutes. I jump down, wait for him to open up, go under him, and just jump up and whip his little propulsion things 3 times, and then he falls. And then once he's in the third level, the third layer, he starts jumping around again. He doesn't use the propulsors anymore. And if you let him bomb it up enough, there's enough holes that you can just have him jump into the lava. It's pretty consistent. You can also use sticky bombs and throw them up in Olmec's butt and have them blow. I used to do that, but I decided to start saving bombs and be bold and whip that motherfucker. It feels good too. It feels good to whip that guy right out of the fucking sky, because he starts falling and you're right under him. But as long as you don't hit anything, as long as he doesn't crush you, he doesn't kill you. So you can just kind of wiggle out from under him and then watch him die.
Gotcha.
So very good with Vlad's Cape, because then you float down and then you're in the back level, and then you get the Ankh. Ankh lets you revive, a very important item. So from here I would go to the tide pools. Like I said, the other route is just very difficult. So if you go to the tide pools, you just gonna have to work to the second area of the tide pools, which is 4-2. There's a sword there called Excalibur. You can only pull it from the stone at the bottom of that level if you have the crown or the Ujit, one of the 2 items that you can get. And then you take the sword to 4-3. So in 4-3, there's always like this big lava pool at the bottom of the level. Turns out there's a one-way door that you can take to get under the lava, and it's one way as in you fall and you can't get at, but you can't use that door to get back. So then you remove an idol there, and the lava explodes from above and guaranteed kills you. Essentially, that's what you need the Ankh for. So you die on that level and revive. Then you take the sword, and where the lava was, where it like falls down, there's a hidden exit in that row where the lava was. So you take that exit, and that leads you to something called the Abzu. It's the deepest part of the tide pools, the deepest part of the ocean. That's where there's this giant turtle thing called Kingu. It's cool because it's like a boss level, and it's no time limit. You go down underwater, and then you climb these poles in the back, and then you jump down onto Kingu's back, like from these big balconies, and then you have to use Excalibur to break this little gem on her back, and then she drops this thing called the tablet of whatever, I forget what it's called, The item description for this item is randomly generated along with everything else. So it procedurally generates a description of like a little Ushabti idol. It's like a coffin idol. It'll say like the cracked golden servant with the mark of the Ankh will lead the way of the aspirant. So it's different every single time. So you get this item so that way you know which of this item you need to find. And then you just kind of play through until I think it's Neo Babylon is like the crazy fucking final world. And like the standard final world, terrible. It's a nightmare place full of nightmare and fire. It's awful.
Is that the world you went to after you?
That's after the
leprechaun
ice caves.
Sacrificed you in the Golden.
No,
City?
That's the Duat. That's the equivalent of the big turtle lady level. It's the equivalent on the other side, basically. Because that's also a boss level. You don't have a time limit. You have to get to the top and you have to beat Osiris. So, which is cool. It's a cool level. Again, it's just you always start there with 4 health because you have to die and sacrifice yourself there. If you go the other route, right, you die and you're back in that same level. So you can, if there's like a Kali altar there, you can sacrifice stuff and get your health back up. A lot of things that make it a lot easier on that side, right? So after Neo Babylon is, so you go through the ice caves, which is just one big long ice caves level. Love it. I think it's great. It's also doesn't overstay its welcome, which is really appreciated. There's Neo Babylon. That's where it's like hell from the first game, except sci-fi future. It's a fucking nightmare. Everything's on fire, and fire instantly kills you if you have a jetpack, basically, because the jetpack explodes and then you take 12 damage. So that's why I started using Vlad's cape, because it doesn't explode, and it's a lot less stressful. In Neo Babylon, there's in 6-2, there's a background room that just has 100 of these little Ushabti idols, right? You have to find the one that matches the description of the stone tablet. You take that idol into 6-3, the next level, and it hatches into this little creature. It's called a Quillen. And he's like a little flying fireball spitting guy. And you just have to get him to survive. Please, God, survive through that one level. And the amount of times I watched him brutally die in front of me and like, no, I got so far, and I had to watch you die at the end of this. And then you go to the boss level, Tiamat's level, and you float the little Killen. He just flies all the way up to the top. And then there's this terrible laser puzzle that I died on many times, and I don't want to talk about it. But anyway, you float him up top. And so you're like working through all this stuff to get this mount that you ascend up. Because again, think about Spelunky, you're going down in every level to the bottom. And it's this really awesome moment, because the cool thing about getting to hell in the first game was you had to get Olmec to fall in the lava, and then you rode. It's so like down into the fire, the base of the whole game, and it's this lava hell pit, and you're on his head, and you go through a secret door, and it takes you to this secret world, and you keep going down. In this case, you are ascending up on the back of this beautiful creature, this little weird goat thing, and then you meet the lady who's like the woman in the hood, Toon, I think is her name. She's like, you've done well to reach this place. And then you go in, there's this giant Olmec head. It's a rocket ship, and it shoots you up into space. And it shows it like cuts to the surface of the moon where like the other characters are out on the surface playing or whatever with the dog and stuff. And then you blast out of the surface and go flying out. And then you hear a squelching noise, and then you're in the Sunken City, which is like the secret world. Wonderful. I love the Sunken City. It's the best. The best part about Spelunky 2 is that the secret world, the reward that you get at the end of this is like probably my favorite hazardous world to play, right? It is also enjoyable to run around that world. And then you just have to, again, secret world, the Sunken City, you're climbing up. You're going up every level, which is really cool. Totally different. The only level in Spelunky, only world in Spelunky lets you do that. Climb all the way to the top. And then the last level, 7-4, is the boss, which is this creature called Hundun, and he's a nightmare monster. It's like an egg with big masculine legs and 2 different, like a bird and a snake head. But you kill him, you beat the game. Now, the wilder shit is So when Hundun dies, he like falls down, and there's like an eye that opens on its stomach, and it's like, what the fuck is this thing? This is clearly something, because this only appears when he dies. So the if you roll back a little bit, while you're playing through this route, the super secret route is in the second world. There's something called the Moon Challenge. If you go in the Moon Challenge, you will find an item called Huayi's Bow. I'm saying that incorrectly, but it's fine. The bow you have to take to Olmec and give to Wadler, the guy that will hold on to your items. Have him hold on to that, and then all the way in the seventh world, in the Sunken City, the secret world, there's another challenge called the Sun Challenge, and if it's a terrible, horrible nightmare experience where enemies come at you infinitely, and it's the kinds of enemies that'll kill you instantly, basically. But if you survive the Sun Challenge, you get the Sun Arrow. So if you take both of these items and shoot the Sun Arrow into that eye on Hundun's stomach after you beat him, it creates a portal, a cosmic portal that leads to the Cosmic Ocean. What is the Cosmic Ocean, you say? It is procedurally generated mini Spelunky levels of literally any world, Sunken City, jungle, mines, whatever you want, until 7.99. So it starts at 7.6 and it goes, or 7.5, and it goes until 7.99. It's essentially infinite Spelunky. It's like the infinite, like, get to the kill screen in Pac-Man run. So you have to, if you beat the game that way and get to the Cosmic Ocean, there's like a super special secret ending. I've seen it now. If you beat 7.99, if you get it to 7.99 and beat another 74 level or 94 levels of Spelunky, but it is buck wild. Only a few people have done it, and I don't think I'll ever be able to do that, but it's fun to dream. At some point, maybe I'll try and make those runs. But yeah, so that's the next thing I got to do. But that's the route. It's crazy, dude. It's absolutely crazy.
Do you ever fight Kali in that game?
No, you don't. Kali's always an ally in that game. But so what
you bomb it?
Yeah, if you bomb it, Kali will drop she'll give you a ball and chain. Oh,
really?
Yeah, if you destroy 2 altars, if you get a -16, that's like the point total with her. An item appears on you. It's a ball and chain. So essentially, the ball will drop you down if you're like hovering in the air. So it makes the jetpack like unusable. And it's like attached to you. It's always like a few feet from you at all times. But you can pick up the ball and carry it like chain gang. But you can't run while you're carrying the ball. So it's a very interesting item that you only get if you fuck up real bad. So what's even cooler, the secrets, the other secrets that I've been slowly, because I'm doing everything in the game. I'm trying to 100% the journal. Like, there's a character that only appears if you bomb a Kali altar. His name is like Toon, or like, I forget his name, Hun or something. And it's like it's Toon's younger brother. And he's like, he'll come up to you. He's like, I see you like chaos. If you bomb an altar, and he'll give you bombs and stuff. And then if you bomb another altar, and get cursed, like separately from this, get cursed and go to another altar, he'll be there again, and he'll give you this special item called the True Crown. And the True Crown is like a jester's hat that makes you teleport randomly every 22 seconds, and gives you and it gives you 22 bombs every 22 seconds. So it's kind of like this crazy ass item, and you can only get it if you're cursed. So then you'd have to uncurse yourself, and it's a whole ordeal. Then like also there's this character named Sparrow that will only appear if you successfully steal something in the first world. So you have to steal an item from a shop. You can't kill the shopkeeper. You just have to steal it, and they'll yell, "Stop, thief!" If you get away with it, because if you survive 2 levels. Without stealing from shops again, they'll forgive you, which is a whole new thing in this game. If you kill them, I
didn't know that.
If you kill them, they don't give a shit.
Okay.
But if you only steal, they will eventually forgive you. Prices will go up.
Double. Yeah, that's all about to ask. Did they double the prices?
Prices go up a little bit, which is a cool thing. But it's like, if there's something real clutch that you need, you can get away with it if you're really careful not to hurt them. So if you do that in the second world, whichever one, you'll meet Sparrow. She'll say, hey, you're pretty good at stealing, but can you steal from Madame Tusk? And so if you do that, she'll appear, which you don't see her otherwise. And then in the third world or fourth world, in the tide pools, if you go there where Madame Tusk is, if you have a skeleton key or a gray key, you can get into her like hidden room, and a Tusk idol, like this really super valuable item, will be there, and it's only there if you do this specific thing, right? If you talk to Sparrow, if you steal from a shopkeeper. So it's like, oh wow, like there are. Because some people play like that, and they're going to just meet those characters organically. I had to look it up because I don't ever steal or anything, but because I'm a goody two-shoes. But I just thought it was so cool. You know, every little bit in that game is just fucking amazing. And then, you know, there's more stuff. There's a whole eggplant run that's crazy. I'm going to have to attempt that at some point as well. So it's really cool. I'm happy. I was very happy and emotional when I finished it. But I was stoked to see that you played any at all option. But that's Splunky 2. I think are you out of time, bud?
Yeah, they're already like outside my door, like
banging on it, like, where is he?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for coming on with what time you had an option.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll get it. We'll get back on our normal schedule. Tony's not here either. We're all fucked up, dude. It's 2020. 2020 vibes.
All right. Later.
All right. Have a good rest of your day, man.
Yep.
All right, Scott. It's you and me, buddy.
Gosh, yeah.
Finally, the Chillcast returns. I talked a lot right there. I have some other stuff I can talk about, but what have you been playing, Scott?
I've been playing 2 games.
Hell yes. What you
the
got?
Game that ruined Spelunky for you?
Yeah.
And Genshin Impact.
Yeah.
So, I booted up Hades.
Yeah.
Did about 4 or 5 runs. Just 1, 2 of them.
Okay.
Inching closer. I believe I won yet another one with a shield at I think it was Heat 1. Another one with a sword that was also at Heat 1.
Yeah, so I've been playing Hades as well. Again, no hard feelings to Hades. I like Hades a lot. I just know that Spelunky will never be like cool and popular like Hades, and that's fine.
It was at one point.
It had its time in the sun in like the more speedrunny community.
I didn't want to interject while we still had an option in there, but it's I want to say that it's mostly I don't think it's mostly due to because the Spelunky's harder, even though yes it is. Yeah. I think it's because Hades is new. Spelunky is not.
True. Yeah. And Hades is cool. It has a very cool style. You know, it's very appealing to a lot of people. And I get it. What else have you been playing? Oh, yeah, and Genshin Impact, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Any new hotness in Genshin? Are you at resin counts?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I didn't get that second question.
Are you at resin counts? Are you like counting your resin up and having to do all that stuff now?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Is it a bummer for you as well?
Well, it's a bummer for most people because they don't understand the type of game.
Yeah.
Because I'll put it this way. So Breath of the Wild comes out. They're like, hey, listen, we're a little bit behind, but we're going to give you this section of the game that only has this one divine beast in it. And we kind of put Ganon in the game and the Master Sword. So I guess you can also do that as well.
Yeah.
And then having people be pissed that there's not enough shrines to get the Master Sword.
Yeah, I get that. I totally get that.
And then it's like, but hold on a second. The game's a fourth of the way done. Chill.
Yeah. This is an ongoing service. You know, you don't have to do everything right now.
And it's like, for what they give you, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you have to get the Master Sword to beat Ganon because you have to go through something like
you don't
that.
have to.
If you didn't. Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just harder.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you just don't have to get the Master Sword.
You don't have to do shit in that game. You just go fight that fucker.
Right. It's the same situation here. It's like you don't. In about 6 months, every character that is currently out, you'll be able to max the current amount of rechargeable resin that they give you. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
And then on top of that, every week or so, they give you another fragment, which is another 60.
Got it.
So, if they were to really improve those resin recharge rates, the only logical thing for them to do at that point to keep people's interest in this case, the game is 1/7 out.
Yeah, it's going to be coming out in chunks.
There's that many more regions. There's that much more story to go through, and I'm pretending that there's not going to be another world after this one.
Yeah.
Although that kind of leak is much stronger than the other thing. It's far away enough that they could give up on it.
Yeah, exactly. Or plans could change. Like, they're going to follow through on this world, but maybe they'll find a way to update this world and change it that people care about more. You know, people might end up pretty invested in this. So, yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like,
I mean, I'm taking this from like a game as a service point. You'll be able to go back to the original world.
Yeah, for sure. I just mean, like, maybe it's more valuable to like make this thing richer and deeper versus just move on to a new thing.
True.
But like that those are the kinds of decisions.
So it's one of those things where it's like, yes, I understand the problem as far as what other people call meaningful progression. You're pretty limited by money and upgrade materials that are locked behind resin, or money and that stuff is kind of locked behind resin. Again, I got to challenge it a little bit, but it's the only thing locked behind resin is boss materials and talent upgrades, as well as weapon upgrade items. You get artifacts by opening chests, as well as doing the bosses, and not just that artifacts. I'm pretty sure you can get most, if not all, artifact sets in the game by doing the corresponding boss. At the very least, a decent set. I think that there's a few elemental sets that you can't get.
Yeah, because there's no corresponding boss, right?
It's not about corresponding boss. They just don't offer them.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a few sets that you would have to farm for, but at the same time, when that target goal is 6 months from now, we're 6 months from now, we're going to be 3/7 done with the game.
Yeah.
Going to be 3/7 of the way out. Yeah, I just took a look at the numbers, and that's what you're going to take to max all those guys.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
And then there's respawning chests. We know for a fact that they respawn. We don't know exactly how it works quite yet, but there's about 1,500 chests in the world. Each one of them gives you over 100 mora, and then like way over that.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So you run around. If you go and you do your daily resin with just the stuff that they have for you, and then you do the counterpart mob grinding in that same day, you're playing for about an hour and a half a day.
Doing your dailies,
Right.
That's what the equivalent.
And it's... I don't agree with having them push the resin further. Simply because... One, you're going to cut the reason to continue playing the game when most of it's not out to experience quite yet.
Yeah.
And you're going to force people who would rather take a small break but feel more compelled to do the dailies, force them into taking more time other than the 15 minutes that it would take them to do it.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, you would then have to somehow match the content release with the upgraded pace of the game, if you could.
Yeah, which would be a lot.
Right. So the solution which they opted for was increasing the amount of total resin you're allowed to hold from 120 to 160.
It's a small step,
It's a small step. and I kind of think that it could use a smaller resin regen increase to appease the people who would think that way. But this is, I would say, very nice.
Good.
Because before, it was 16 hours before you were capped.
Yeah. Now it's, what, 24?
Now it's not 24, it's 20.
20.
It's 20 flat.
Got it.
So, basically, I was not able to go to bed, go to work, come home, and do all my resin shit.
Yeah, I remember.
On one hand, I lost, at the very minimum, I lost about 8 resin. Doesn't seem that much. On the high end of sides, I lost 24.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Which at that point, that's a whole activity.
Yeah.
And that would be every day.
That's a bummer.
Well. So it would add up quite a bit. And now I have a guaranteed 2 buffer hours to play with.
Yeah, you have a little bit extra time, which is nice.
Yeah, so basically I get to kind of choose when I play more than I did. And then the frequency in which I have to do it has decreased.
What I will say about Genshin, just in general, of like that the direction, whatever direction it's going in, is certainly going to change. It's just like I think this game is way more popular than they thought it was going to be. I think it hit bigger than anyone could have thought, because it hit big. It was it's like 60 million players, I think I saw, like, at some point.
Yep.
Which
and
is
the game's
crazy.
already made $100 million.
Yeah, like this game did way better than they thought it would, which is great. You know, like, obviously it has some skeeziness to it, but like at the end of the day, it's a cool game for free. So I'm excited to see what they do, knowing that they have like so many people at the very least interested in it. And if like I imagine a lot of those people probably will drop off at some point, but if they do something cool or actually engaging and exciting, I'm sure a lot of those people will come back to give it a try, myself included.
Yeah,
so
they did try another event, and they did try an event, the Elemental Crucible. It wasn't very good. Basically, it was a co-op event where everybody gathered to this one location, and they started what was essentially a dungeon.
Okay. That doesn't sound that exciting.
It was an outside dungeon, but effectively it's what one of your domains would look like.
Got it. Okay.
It wasn't too hard, so that definitely wasn't the problem. But because it was a co-op event, their servers could not handle the amount of people trying to do it.
Yeah. On
top of that, you had to do it 20 times.
Oh my god.
On top of that.
Oh my god.
It was forced multiplayer.
Yeah, you couldn't do it alone, I'm sure.
It's not that you couldn't do it alone. When you started the thing, it gave you a 20-second countdown timer till it started, and then all from that time until it ends, the game would match you with people trying to do it.
Okay. That sounds intense.
So that's it was that's how janky it was to begin with, and then the gameplay itself was kill the waves, and after each set of waves, it would spawn some cubes that you would have to collect and bring to the middle.
Yeah.
Or elemental, so you couldn't pick up any cube. You had to pick up cubes of one element and then go get a different element. And if somebody hits you with an elemental attack, they could explode the cubes and do bonus damage to you. Now, this didn't matter because they didn't do enough damage to make that a thing. It would just kind of suck over multiple runs, just because you were trying to get it done quick, and that would slow down your speed.
Yeah, that does suck.
So it was a very underwhelming event. A lot of people straight up hated it. And I think it would have been fine had, one, the server's been good, or 2, the rewards you got for doing it match the amount of times they made you do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Or I'll just, for comparison, when an event came out in Pad, you would, or like this is a banner for limited time units, I'll say. They do this all the time. It's pretty much nonstop.
Sure.
They almost guarantee send you either 10 stones for free, so you can roll on that banner.
It's Puzzles and Dragons, right?
Yep.
Got it.
And
stones.
they would give you a 2-step dungeon.
Okay.
Which would sometimes allow you to get would guarantee you would at least get 2 free magic stones on top of that.
That's not too long, I imagine.
Cool. And no, and they also weren't that hard. They were enough to be interesting.
Yeah. All right, that's cool.
And then on top of that, some of them were time trials, which if you maxed it out, you'd get yet another magic stone.
Oh, cool.
So they didn't do that for some because that would come later. Also kind of dropped off that bandwagon, but so you're looking at a baseline of 13 magic stones per event, and sometimes an event would come along and they would say, "Here's 50."
Nice. I imagine this is a lot more cheap on the rewards.
So in that case, for them, it's generally 5 or 10 stones per pull. So they gave you when they would give you the lower end, they generally give you about 2 pulls. So they would either give you something along the lines of 20 or the 10.
Yeah, which is pretty consistent. That's pretty good.
Right. Oh, and then they would also just give you a egg machine pull straight up.
Yeah.
So that's 3. But they're very consistent with that. In this, they gave you 300 Primo Gems, which is a pull and some change.
Oh, man. That sucks.
And it's one of those things where did they need to give you a full 10 pull? No.
Would it have been
Would
nice?
it have been nice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been.
Would we have accepted 5?
Sure.
Absolutely.
But no, they gave you 1.
They gave you 1 and some change.
Yeah. And some chump change. Ugh. Yeah, that's disheartening.
There was some other stuff that was worth getting. Like, everybody needs the experience. Everybody needs the experience books.
Sure, but...
sorry, the money and the experience books.
But it would have been nice to have gotten, like, one character with that, you know?
Right. And it's... Most of the reason people did it was because it upgrades your battle pass as well for doing some of those stuff.
Got it. Yeah. Makes sense.
So... Yeah. Now, they're coming out with another event, which I believe is you run around the map and collect Halloween presents.
Oh, cool.
So
that sounds way chiller, way more approachable. Hopefully they give you more
I
stuff.
agree. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, if this ends up giving you adventure experience, because I guess the only thing I forgot about the last one is that, like a domain, that thing costed 40 resin to collect separate experience book rewards from, which is better than the ambient one that they give you to start with, but it's a whole lot of resin to just dump into straight experience books.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't running into an experience issue simply because the beta warned them about it, and they know it's build 2 units first, then move on to another 2 until you have a full team, and then stop. Chill for a while.
Yeah, take a break.
See what you need before you dump it into a random character you're never going to use.
Yeah. Totally fair.
But yeah.
We'll see how that event goes. See if they learned. Maybe do a better job. Or at the very least, people will be less upset at it because it's not matchmaking and stuff, so...
Yep, and I guess the only thing I have really left to do now is it's really bugging me not knowing how this chest respawn works.
Got it. Trying to figure the one last thing.
Yeah. So guess what I'm doing?
Watching all the chests respawn, waiting, seeing how long it takes.
Well, in order to watch all the chests respawn, you have to do?
Walk around to each and every one of them.
Yep.
Over and over and over again, I imagine.
I'm definitely not going to go that far into it, but so long as you pass over each chest once and collect it,
yeah,
and you know that you've gotten every chest, if you go through that same route again and there are chests in those same locations,
yeah,
then you know that they've respawned.
Yeah, they have a respawn rate. Yeah.
Right. So there's several current theories. One is that there's a sort of a daily timer and a weekly timer.
Yeah.
Where a set amount respawn per day per week. And then the other one is you get a chest respawn cycle every time your adventure rank levels up.
Got it. Interesting. I'm curious to find out what you learn. I'm sure you'll be at it. So.
Yep.
Is that all you've been playing?
That is
cool. I'll knock off my other games real quick. A couple of things I don't want to talk about just because I don't have too much to say. I played Smash a little bit ago. One of these days, because we're on Discord when we do it, Scott, I'll just try and message you and see if you're on when we're playing. But we played, check out Steve, whatever. Lame, didn't like him. For me, he's not my thing. Definitely feels like a good troll character. We were talking about that. A lot of cool touches.
But he's a good troll.
Yeah, he does some cool. He does some cool technical shit. He's not like easy to play. So it's like I imagine kids who like play Minecraft will come. If you play Minecraft, that's not necessarily an easy game to play either. So
no, he's an Olimar type character.
Yeah, he's technical.
He's rough.
Yeah, but it's cool though. I mean, the thing about the DLC characters, and I applaud Sakurai for it, is just like he's going all out. He's making them the most technical, most complex, super interesting characters. Like even Steve, even Piranha Plant, like all these things like that could be totally half-assed. Like he makes them really interesting. So to his credit, I didn't really like playing him, but the music, I like Minecraft music, so the music is cool. I like the remixes that they did. The level's cool, but just playing Smash Bros. Is great. Also, just in general. Also this week, that was 2 weeks ago because we didn't record last week. We played Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. If folks missed it, Scott and I played last Sunday with our good friend Cameron Abbott, and then Evan Wall, once host of Irrational Passions, joined us and hung out for a little bit. So that was fun. Hopefully we'll do that again soon. Cause I was telling Scott before we started, I grinding out new characters, getting them ready. But this week we streamed. We also got together and streamed. Mike, Jarrett, Quinn, and I played the Ghost of Tsushima Legends multiplayer. It's a free multiplayer that they added to this game after the fact. 4-player co-op. It's like 2-player co-op story missions that are kind of like just regular missions, and then 4-player co-op like wave survival missions. So we were just doing that survival thing. It was fun. It's really interesting how this mode that they patched into Ghost of Tsushima is like a full looter game. After each wave, you're getting loot, you equip loot, and your power level goes up. You're getting experience and unlocking a kind of small skill tree. There are 4 classes to choose from. There is a raid that you have to hit a loot barrier in order to be able to be ready for, which is crazy. I don't know, that's not out yet. I guess that'll unlock soon. But it's a very in-depth for being a completely free update to that game. And it's pretty fun. The combat in the game I think is all right. So playing with 3 other people just slashing away at other samurai and stuff is cool. And it has a different aesthetic. It's all demons. It's this idea that the legends of Tsushima are these spiritual ancestors, and they fought off the Oni, which are these demons that so all the enemies you're fighting are more demonic flared and themed, which is cool. They're pretty much the same, but they look cool. But that was cool. We did a group stream of that. I think that's archived on YouTube if folks want to watch it. We talked a lot about how we felt about it there. So we also talked about Final Fantasy Spirits Within, the animated movie that was a theatrical release. What a wild thing that was. And then on my own time, I started playing a little Evil Within 2 just today. Because I was like, I should play a spooky game for October vibes. And it's been so long since I played the game. Really great opening. Just really like that game. It's it's a kind of generic third-person shootery in some regards. It's very derivative of The Last of Us in other regards, but it's also pretty good. It's a fun little romp. It's got good spooky vibes. But the other thing I've been playing, Hades. Final thoughts on Hades. Not final thoughts. I'm sure I'll talk about it again. But it's a big update. I beat it. I've finished Hades many times now.
Hey.
Which is good. I finished Hades last week, and I finished Spelunky this week, and I was like, good. I feel like I've accomplished stuff. I'll be honest, like I was definitely like pretty frustrated by the end of it, and so once I broke through that barrier of beating it, it definitely like honestly like leading up to it, I was way less into the game than I felt after beating it, which is cool. But it was like 15 hours of like kind of not loving my time with it, but having a good time with it. But now definitely that I'm on the other side of finishing it, and I'm much more familiar with like everyone's tool set, like all the boon tool sets and what I want, and just having that familiarity and that comfort of like on the fly thinking of how these combinations might be really, really deadly is cool. And it took me a really long time to kind of get to that comfort level. But it was worth it to get there. It's a hard journey, but it was certainly cool to get there. And then like finally started unlocking some of the new forms of the weapons, like the fourth forms. I've got the bow and the spear.
By the way,
yeah,
I kept calling the swords aspect of Zagreus, which is an aspect on all of them.
Yeah, it's
but
the second
not the one.
Right?
It's the nemesis.
Yeah,
one.
aspect of nemesis. I figured because I listened to what you were saying. The critical hit chance was what you were talking about. So I was that's actually the one I beat the game with first time. Was
nice.
That sword.
Yeah, it's good.
What I did was there are 2 sword upgrades. One, like you attack really rapidly, and the other one it makes the special hit twice. So I had both of those. So and I had Artemis's attack thing. So just my critical chance was fucking bananas.
Yeah.
And then I got the shawl, the Nyx accessory for the final boss. So I was like, and I got the hasted attack. So I'm like super like holding down the button, just mashing away, and I'm critting like every other hit. And then I hit the special, it hits twice, and then just mashing away, and it felt very good. Felt good to fucking beat Daddy's ass in with that. That was a good feeling.
Have you gotten the Crescent Hammer? I think that's what it's called. I forget. Where it halves your health or something like that, and then your attacks heal you for
the sword
2 every single hit.
Yeah, I got that one. I think I might have. No, I had a run with it that just didn't. I didn't get enough other boons that worked out with it. But that was a cool one too.
Yeah, because that's one of the ones where I see it, I pick it up just because I just know.
Yeah.
It's like all you have to do at that point is get your health to 80 as a break point, and that's just if you get hit while you're swinging, they'll do about 43 to 47 damage.
Yeah.
So that is 3 hits before you can take another hit, like in succession.
Yeah.
So if you make a mistake very quickly, you'll generally have enough time to kill yourself out of the death point.
And that's where like the Hermes like boon, where if you dash right after you get hit to recover health, like that's when that's super clutch because if you're paying super attention to it. Yeah. So again, like stuff like that, just understanding the synergy of stuff. It's just like,
and I guess the last tip I have for you is in order to get duo boons, you have to previously have had the duo boon, the 2 boons from the goddesses that you would get the duo boon from.
Yeah, I figured that out. And I have the thing on my mirror to get more of those. Because I'm trying to collect all those. I'm working through the prophecies. But yeah, man, I really into it. I was bummed too because I got stuck on the third boss for a while, and that's what gates you from getting the ice powers, and I really like the ice powers. So again, after getting like the last area, getting more resources and stuff, that that's been I've been enjoying a lot more.
That area gates you from getting the ice god?
Yeah, you have to beat Asterius and whatever Theseus.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, until Demeter can start appearing, which I only know because I was stuck on that boss specifically. And then it's like literally the run after I beat that boss, she showed up. It's like, and he says something like, "Oh, this is different." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking unlocked it finally." But yeah, I so like spoiler, just a real quick spoiler because now I'm in the post game stuff. It feels like there's more going on, right, Scott? Or do you know if there's more going on? Because like,
oh yeah, I know that there's more going on.
Okay, I don't want to know what's going on, but it feels like all right. I'm building to something else now, and that it's interesting. Yep. Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool.
Yep.
The story caveat of having to go back frustrates me, but it's fine. They built the story around it enough that I'm like, okay, I'll give this benefit of the doubt. It's compelling. The way, like, I like that Zagreus feels like a motivated character. Like, I'm never like wondering what the fuck he's doing. Like, I get it. I understand what he's doing.
I mean, sometimes, but it's funny.
And like you're on that ride with him, right? You're feeling that frustration with him, and you're like, whatever. I'm gonna just throw spaghetti against the wall. But yeah, I like the dynamics. Hades is great. Like once you actually start getting the dialogue with him, is very good and stuff like that. So, excited to play more. There's one other thing I was gonna say. So I've done a single run with all the weapons except for the bullet, the griffin thing. I just can't with that.
So you can't move while shooting it.
Yeah.
But you can dash and shoot at the same time.
Yes.
It does not stop. So while it might seem like it makes you more immobile than usual, your dash doesn't have a cooldown. You don't have stamina or nothing.
Yeah, it's like a damage.
You don't
thing,
have to.
Like it doesn't feel as good to play. That's why I like the weapons with impact.
It doesn't have any knockback, which is difficult, but it does. It does. I want to say some of the most damage that you can do.
Yeah, the special does a lot of damage.
So, yeah, barring that you didn't have the special, it's a little bit weak. But it's just one of those things where you can do a lot of damage from a very safe distance if you allow yourself to worry more about spacing than doing damage.
Sure.
It's not a weapon for fast runs, I don't think.
Yeah, and that's just probably where I'm at right now. So I've been everything but that I've beaten it with once, and I'm working on the second runs, getting all the items for the heat level 1, which I'm doing the time limit. That's been easy enough for me. 9 minutes with each world because it stacks on top of it. So if I have like 3 minutes left over in the first world, I'll have 13 for whatever for the next one. So that's been I've done three weapons second clear, so I've 2 more, and then onto the whatever I'm gonna do for heat level 2 or 3 or whatever. So, but yeah, it's cool. I'm into it. I'm enjoying being able to get those late game upgrades and get those big boons that really help. Like getting the first diamond upgrade I got was because I'm trying to max out everybody's hearts, right? I got the one that gives you a random level up to one of your boons every time you get
the nectar,
which it's just a nice little treat on top.
Yeah, because those rooms are effectively dead rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
For power, if you don't have those upgrades,
so it's like a free little upgrade.
You will later get one for 5 diamonds. I don't remember what it's called.
Is it the gate?
Don't worry about getting it yet. It's an extra gate one.
Yeah, so don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You can only use it once you have a certain amount of heat level.
Yeah. And I'm only on level
So,
1.
and it's like, it's going to be way harder to get that heat level if you don't have those other upgrades first.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of getting it first, and the first thing I got was, oh, hey, you need 10 heat level to go use this. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Because you keep in mind, I'm not that far into upgrading a specific weapon to do high heats.
Yeah.
Because when you Titan Forge your Bloods, you start out stronger, you get to have more leeway with how powerful your builds are.
Yeah.
So you get to pick differently and more specific.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm not at a point where I can comfortably kind of just do whatever I want because my weapons are upgraded so much.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too, so totally. Yeah, it's good. I was saving for that. I was saving my diamonds up for that. So thank you for telling me. I would go spend them now. Because some of those other ones are really not, like the every time you pick up a key, you get a fucking door reroll. It's like, oh, that would be really fucking nice. Because some of these, I get shit luck on some of these.
Yep. Then the other thing to notice that is that extra chamber room is what it says. It is a different chamber. It is a different normal room that you go into.
Yeah, I figured.
It just, in order to get that extra roll for that room, you have to have a certain heat level.
Yeah. Luckily, I got all the gems upgrades, so now I can just chunk those out into fucking keys, man. I'm a key factory over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing the fishing. I like all these little things that kind of pop up later on in the game. It's like I didn't even think that this would be a thing, but you can get like free extra resources for just fishing, which is cool.
Yep, I think that fishing can give you everything but blood.
Yeah, it seems like that. I've gotten nectar, keys, and gems from it, so I figured. But if it can give you diamonds, that would be really cool.
I've gotten ambrosia, and I'm pretty sure I've gotten a diamond from one of them.
Ambrosia is a good get too, because ambrosia can get you blood. So, I figure the keyholes on hearts to get people up, those little locks, I'm gonna figure that out at some point. I don't know if you figured that out yet.
I believe that is when you know that you need ambrosia to level up, but you might not have the dialogue options.
Got it.
Or chances to go through all of it yet.
Sure, yeah.
So you might have dumped a whole lot of nectar, or just had a whole lot of nectar lying around, and you haven't gone through the dialogue options for that character to move forward yet.
Got it. Okay, cool. I'll keep
and I also believe that some of those key heart and key locks have to do with items you get for characters.
Got it.
Because in the keepsakes, there's the 4 golden heart locks at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
5. I believe that's what that is.
Got it. Okay.
I didn't look a whole lot on this game up.
Yeah, because I'm not.
After I looked at the heat level, I did look that up.
Got it. Okay. Cool. I'll keep playing then. See what I can find. The story is definitely progressing, so see what else I can find out. But yeah, I'm really enjoying my time with it now. Definitely all the things are clicking with me more now. Rough beginning, but happy to be where I'm at with it. So that's it. That's all I've been playing, man. I played a little Destiny 2. There's like one last mission that kind of literally leads right into the new expansion that comes out in just a couple weeks. That was cool. I'm excited.
You planning on getting into the new expansion again?
Oh yeah, I've been waiting. Mike from the editorial side, he's been playing Destiny 2 like nonstop this year. That's been his like comfort game year. He's put like 1,000 hours into it just throughout quarantine time. Which I'm here for. I respect. It's just like I'm less into the seasonal stuff that they do between expansions.
Right. You like getting the big meats of the expansions and saying, "I'll see you next time."
Yeah, exactly. And I like checking in. So I've like definitely been checking in more with the Season of Arrivals than I did with at least the last 2 seasons before. And they're doing a good job. Like there's cool stuff in there. The story stuff that I caught myself up on is really good. But I could kind of come in at the end and just get it all. So I was happy to just do that. And like the last mission where you kind of see a whole thing and fight a new character and then see like this kind of message that leads right into the expansion. It's cool. So they're doing cool stuff. Very excited. It seems like Beyond Light is going to be kind of the start of what would be Destiny 3, but them kind of doubling down on 2. So this is like a new era that I'm really excited about. Obviously, them vaulting and getting rid of a bunch of stuff is, I know people have problems with that, but I think if it makes the game feel less bloated, as someone who's been playing it for a long time that isn't hurt by that, I'm very excited for that. So we'll see. That's November 10th, the day the Series X comes out. I'll be playing it on my Xbox. I'm excited. That's it, man. That's the show. We didn't get any emails, but I'd like to remind everybody, if you'd like to send us some messages, you can email us mailsack@irrationalpassage.com, email address, and the voicemail box is 404-590-1337. And then if you'd like to tweet us your questions, you can tweet them at irrationalpod. She's the hashtag IPQ. Some other quick stuff. If you would like to follow Irrational Passions, you can do so on Twitter at irrationalpod. Like I mentioned before, that's everything. That's including our videos and streams and stuff like that. If you'd like to follow myself and Nobshin, we're both active on Twitter. I'm Alfighter27. He's Nobshin186. All of our video stuff is on Twitch and YouTube. Just look for Irrational Passions. Hopefully more Splunky. I'll be live again with Splunky this week. I missed this past week, but it was just like bad timing with things, but it'll happen. And then, check out YouTube for our viewpoints and a bunch of stuff we're doing over there. And then rate and review us wherever you listen, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever you like. And check out irrationalpassions.com. That's it. It's the end of the show, Scott. It's time to bet. Are you ready to make bets? Oh, man. The last week's bet is going to be a botch, but it's okay. This week's bet. This time next week...
Are we gonna have to mulligan it?
We might. When we get there, I'll ask you. What you
okay.
bet. This week's bet, or this time next week. Yeah, this week's bet starts with that. This time next week, when I check the top 10 open critic reviews for Trails of Cold Steel 4, I already mentioned this earlier. How many times will I see the word anime in those 10 reviews total? Now, here's why I want to preface this. Now, Trails of Cold Steel, definitely an anime game, but it's more in the medium space. It's not crazy heavy anime. It's pretty anime, but it's not like Tales, I would say. It's not quite that extreme. So with that knowledge in mind, how many times? How many times we see anime, Scott? Once per review? Is that too much, do you think?
So are we counting it up and averaging it out per review?
No, count total in these top 10 reviews.
Okay. So I was just... If once per review is 10 in each time, I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to do it an average of twice per review.
Oh.
So we're going to go with 20.
20, okay. I'm going to go with 8. Again, I'm going to aim for low. But we'll see. Let's go either way. So
I feel like somebody's going to go all in on it.
Yeah, true. And they'll just fuck the average.
For him about why it's great, or be one of those guys is fuck this anime.
Or they talk about the companion anime. I don't know. I don't think there's a companion anime, but all right. So, okay, maybe this isn't a botch. Last week's bet. This time next week, how many Twitch viewers will Phasmophobia have on Twitch? Disingenuous because it's been 2 weeks. I wasn't sure if Phasmophobia had completely died off. So I said 106,000. Option said 0,000 because he wasn't there. Scott, you said 60,000. Tony said 45,000. The current number, 61,000. Off by 1,000, Scott. I think that's a fair win. I'll allow it. That brings...
Here's what I think we should do.
Yeah?
Right? This should be the pity point for Alex and Scott holding down the show point on the bets.
So we both get a point?
Given that I'm the winner,
yeah,
I think all we need is Nobshin's okay because he showed up.
Yeah, it's true. He'll say okay. I'll take the pity.
Tony doesn't get anything, any kind of
Tony's got plenty of points. All right, I'll take the pity point. So that brings the team totals up to, at me, even stronger with a proud 5. Scott right above me with 8. Tony right above him with 10. And Option still in the lead with 13. You can take a bunch of weeks off, and he's still in the lead. He's just the best better, man.
He's just right all the time.
He's just right, man. He's good at this. That's why we got him. He's good at podcasting. He's good at bets. That's the show. Thanks for hanging out, Scott. You and me. Chillcast like the good old days. We should next time we should just like message Evan, be like, dude, it's just us. Come on, let's make it a reunion. let's do it right now. I just saw him go offline too, which is more I should have just bothered him. But if I do it, then it's on the stream and everyone will know. Thank you everyone for hanging out, for listening. Thank you Danny Wiesner for opening music of 2-Player Co-op and our closing music of The World Is Saved, respectively. Go check out Danny Wiesner. Thank you Tony. Thank you Nabishin, wherever you boys are. Hopefully Tony's maybe getting some sleep or something if he worked all morning. And thank you Scott, as always, for joining me. Love you boys. Big hugs all the way around. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games, stay rational. We will talk to you all next week. There's no titles. The end of the podcast.
Oh, geez. Like, where?
Nabisha was not here for long. Here's the thing. There was a funny thing that Nabishan said at some point. I'm just going to cut. I'm going to just put that in there. I'm just going to put that there.
If you can't find it, feel free to see if I can come up with anything too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean I could just rip one of any of our quotes, honestly. But Scott, do you want to give me a good read on this is Irrational Passion Podcast episode 485?
485?
Yep.
Okay. This is the Irrational Passion Podcast, episode 485.
That's it. That's the magic. Thanks for watching, everybody. There's a couple folks in chat. We appreciate you very much. Have a good night. Bye. There we go.